What's good? It's your boy, Auditor with Ade, and today we're going to do a reaction video of the Joe Budden Queen's Flip contract negotiation, the little back and forth that they had on their podcast. As an auditor who's been doing it for 17 years, I fall into the accounting field, so I see things like this all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and do a video that's reacting to what I see.
Do it, you gonna edit it out. The shit I was coming in and say, and I saw your man, I'll fry you.
I'll experiment you.
I'm gonna take this right now, bro. What's up? Edit me out. What's up?
You just turn it up.
You don't want to turn it up.
You used to be the ones to turn it up.
You don't want to turn it up for real. You gonna do it, you gonna edit it out. The shit I was coming in and say, and I saw your man, I'll fry y'all niggas' asses up. Stop. I came here because you would expect me to react like that, so I come in here being professional. Let me do my job. If you push me, I'm gonna fry you. And I love you. Almost came to your house.
First of all, I just want to say that Joe Budden got to stop this contract negotiation doing it live on the pod, because it's almost like Rory and Maul. Initially, I thought they was joking, but come to find out this stuff is true. So he needs to start doing things behind the door. But I do understand this is about contact, and Joe's the type of podcaster that he'll fire somebody right on stage, right on air, and he looks at it as not bad business, but good business, because everybody's going to talk about it. So I just think that certain things should be discussed behind the scenes, but continue to watch the video.
Oh, shit. Hey, you let me in, I don't think I don't threaten shit. I want to take the talk to that.
I'm always let you in if I see you somewhere.
You did the pull. You just awesome.
I don't know if we playing. I don't know if we not.
Also, too, that's one thing that I do want to say with people who are doing business. We live in a business type of generation. It's good to know where your business partner or contractor lives. At the end of the day, if you're doing business with somebody who is, somebody you just don't know where they live, or they don't have a building that you could go to, it's better to know where they live. Like, almost like if you have a contractor who's working on your house or something, honestly, you should know where he lives, because you never know how that deal could go. So Joe and Flip talking about, hey, I'm pulling up at your house, even though they said it in a jokingly way, I do recommend you doing that, or you knowing where your business partner lives, or the contractor who's working like on your property lives.
If you dead ass, I don't know if you want to save it for later. If you dead ass, I would almost pay for you to tell people what you mad at. I would almost pay. I will pay for you to tell people why you mad at me.
Right now?
Whatever you want.
Are you serious?
I will edit it out. You want it now? Holy shit, that nigga.
I can tell him why I'm mad.
Let's hear it. Well, let me see what's the next topic first, so I can see if this is more entertaining.
Let's talk about it on page.
What's the next topic? This.
That's on the board. Tyler Perry's
Oh, no, all right, we here. He can wait. Tyler Perry can wait. And geez, that's gonna hurt myself. Yeah, what's up?
I'm mad.
I'm gonna mute up. I ain't gonna say nothing. Get your shit off.
You know why I'm mad, Joe.
I don't.
Nothing goes past you.
Just tell him. Hey, chicks. Oh, boy.
I'm not doing that.
Right here, this is the one. We out here with this one.
You know why I'm not doing
Load
it?
this up.
I'm not doing it because it's unprofessionalism, and it will add on to a narrative that I don't want to be a part of. But
Bingo, it's unprofessional to bring that up during a podcast. I haven't really listened to this video. I was told by one of my subscribers that I should go ahead and react, and they want to hear my point of view, so I'm just reacting live and in person. But Bingo, I just got a little brief update on what's going on. But Bingo, you should probably save this for after work. But I do understand, because content is key.
I would say this, that you know why I'm upset. I feel like whatever I do, I'm worth. I just feel like, you know what it is, man. And I'm not, you made my decision very much clear. That bullshit, that conversation I had with that nigga, your man pissed me the fuck off. And I couldn't believe they was talking to a nigga as experienced as me on who to blame for this decision.
First of all, I do want to discuss Queen's Flip. I'm surprised that he joined the Joe Budden podcast because he does have a big platform on YouTube. And at the end of the day, all these people are YouTubers. So I am surprised that he did join the Joe Budden podcast. I'm thinking that he is a level right below Joe, and he probably could have did his own thing. I know I've seen a couple of his interviews, and they got views, so I'm surprised that he is with Joe.
For the audience out there that's keeping up with this, Flip, talk to somebody. I have not spoken to Flip since he spoke to somebody. I was at Blue and Hudson.
You knew everything. You know everything because you know why? Because me and you the same nigga.
I
was gonna come see you.
When I got a call, I didn't believe it. So I won't believe it because niggas be lying.
Oh yeah,
niggas be lying. So I won't believe it until I hear it from the horse's mouth.
You just think you got a call from Flip, man.
I would have to hear it from Flip.
And when did people start telling their friends all their business? I know that they both have friends or both have a person who they call their mans who I think did their contract or is familiar with both of them. But when did friends become part of business if they're not a part of the business? It's one thing to talk to your friend, maybe to vent to your friend, but to be in the middle of his business acumen, so his business dealings, is kind of funny.
Because I don't even believe what niggas said. They lying on my man. They lying on my man.
What are you referring to?
I don't know, whatever you referring to. I think somebody lying on my man. No way.
Which man though? He's making a
Flip. I don't know.
What are you referring to?
You talk, nigga.
I'm talking about personal business. What are you talking about?
Me too.
So what they lying to say?
Well, can somebody tell me? Get your shit off. Go. Because I don't believe that. Nothing what they said about you and the business shit, I'm like, you lying. And I hung up. I went back to eat sushi. The link.
Now you trying to push my butt. You playing me. Listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Number one, stop playing with me. I'm gonna give you one more chance.
Also, too, check my channel. I always talk about meetings. And the reason why I talk about meetings, as Joe just said, I was eating sushi. So he wasn't focused on your issue. Set a meeting with the man. Schedule a meeting. Talk to him about your issues or grievances. Have your stuff documented. That's why I always talk about meetings and having meetings and scheduling meetings.
To stop you, stop. But here's the thing. I didn't like the conversation that I had with the business partner of yours, nigga.
So not yours anymore.
No. Of yours.
But at one point it was yours.
I don't give a fuck. That's true.
You have developed a relationship with this person outside of Joseph and
I realize
of my companies or business.
Also, too, when you're doing business, it's not personal. It's just business. It's just business. It's not personal. You talk about mans and friends. Nah, when you doing business, ain't no more mans and friends. It's about business and doing business.
Once you did that, we're going to be accountable.
I am accountable for that, but then when
you trusted someone to have your best interest at heart at all times.
True.
That's only a decision one person can make with that person.
I have to give him respect.
How I end up in this conversation.
Watch this. He wants to overtalk.
No, shut up.
I have to give respect because it was made clear that when it comes to Joe, I can't be in the middle of that. So that's where the respect comes from. So I'm not going to lie and make it seem like I wasn't already warm. When it comes to anything with Joe pertaining to business, I can't get involved.
I tell me what you're mad at.
I'm mad at you, nigga.
Tell him what I did.
What are you talking about?
Tell him what I did. Tell him what you mad at me.
You tried to make me. What are you talking about?
I want you to tell anybody that's listening what Joe Budden did and why you mad at me about it.
Tap out, why? It's gonna sound crazy? No, it's not.
Say it.
It's a money thing, nigga.
Tell him.
Yeah, no, it's a money thing.
What happened?
Okay, so when I got an increase.
No.
I didn't get an increase. So what I got?
You didn't get it. Hey, listen.
You don't want to talk about it, exactly.
Nah, what do you want to talk about? I don't run around. Hey, Danny Chicks.
Now, stop. You playing around me.
Stop. Because I'm just dragging. I want to get through it. Yo, I don't get increases in the middle of the contract.
Facts. Most companies don't give increase in the middle of the contract unless it's like, let's say it's a contractor that's building your house. The cost of a material might go up, so he might need an increase. Or you're an employee, you work for a union. That's why I say it's always important to join a union and get involved in a union. Sometimes you might be in the middle of a labor agreement where the next contract's coming up and you might have to strike, so you can end up leaving. So when you sign a contract, it's better to play it out. But if you don't sign the contract, you better have some leverage. I mean, we're not all NFL, NBA players where we could be James Harden and say, I'm not playing for you, I'm sitting out, trade me now. That works for them. But for people who live in the real world, it's kind of hard. So, just keep listening, pay attention.
I don't know no company that really do. So I didn't give you an increase. I didn't give nobody an increase. Who did I give an increase to?
Second of all, see now, by Queen's Flip bringing this up in front of the podcast, what Joe is doing is he's bringing content, but you also have other employees there that probably didn't even know what was going on. So instead of you guys kind of banding together, now you got Ish, you got Melissa, who didn't even realize that this dude, Queen's Flip, is getting he's getting an increase, or he's getting more money. And we didn't even know nothing about it. And then everybody's ego starts to get involved. So that's why, yes, I understand you're doing it for content, but, this breaks morale.
My nigga, I'm single-handedly, you know what I'm single-handedly responsible for up here, nigga?
You did not address.
All right. Let's talk about that. You were giving me money. First of all, it can't be for improv. Why it cannot be? Because I did improv before the increase came. Before I asked for it.
We have to keep it entertaining and not be emotional. We're not talking about improper improv. All we want the audience to know.
Okay.
So improper improv, that's something additional that he does. Play out your contract, and then when the new contract comes, you bring that up and say, hey, I'm doing improper improv for free. This is bringing this amount of views. I want this increase. That's just how it works. But just bringing it up, hey, you're doing it for free. You got to take that out. A lot of times when people want to get promotions and people want to move up the corporate ladder and get raises and stuff like that, they do a lot of stuff, additional work. That's how you move up the corporate ladder.
How'd you increase?
I hit you guys up, and big dog here. I said, I need this.
What did you say?
I gave you a time frame.
So you're not gonna tell the audience.
I gave you a time frame.
This is how it gets tricky. I get my back
Let me
kicked
fix
in
it,
because the
nigga.
details get blurry.
I asked for an increase for a certain amount of months.
How many months?
Three months. Yes.
Go ahead, continue your story.
Okay.
That's the third month passed, and what happened?
It kept going.
So you're telling me an employee asks you for a pay increase for 3 months. I got to look at Joe like, bro, what are you doing? Employees need increases all the time. You know what they do? They loan against the business. So let's say if I have a business and employee X wants an increase, he could borrow from my business. And instead of me paying him a little extra money on the side, like a trap boy, like, hey, let me give you this extra $10. Nah, come and borrow this against the business, and then that employee eventually has to pay it back. Because I don't know, it's weird because you see all these YouTubers, and I'm expecting people to be rich, have their things in order, have their money on point, but you're borrowing extra money for what? Like, yo, I need to borrow money for 3 months. To me, that sounds crazy. If you need that much money, you better off just asking a friend, your industry friend, even asking Joe, like, hey, Joe, can you please give me an increase? Okay, you please borrow this money. Can I borrow this money? Yo, I just need this money. I'm tight. Money is tight. It's kind of funny that, you would just give someone a pay increase, because now what happens is your other coworkers, your other employees start to look at you funny and like, yo, I need an increase, or why is he getting an increase and I'm not getting an increase? You better off just loaning him the money personally, truthfully. Just loan him the money, or loan him the money from the Joe Budden podcast.
Fourth month passed, and what happened? It kept going. The fifth month passed, and what happened?
It shut off.
No, it did not.
I was
My math is very good. The 5th month passed, and it still happened. So Joe Budden one day looked up and said, hey, I'm just paying somebody extra money for longer than they said that they needed it. That's not in the contract. That's not accounted for nowhere. It's just giving it. So do you...
And that's where the auditor/accountant comes in. You know, we audit companies and we see things like that. We see where the owner might be paying a certain employee. Like I've had cases where the owner was paying an employee extra money when they weren't supposed to, and the whole time that employee, he was having an affair with her. So that was the secretary. So you had a secretary that was making a lot more money than secretaries usually do because he was having an affair with her and he was paying her out of the company's money. And that's what it seems like this happened is Joe is paying somebody out of the company's money. The auditor/accountant came and said, hey, what's going on? You're paying Queen's Flip an extra $20,000 per month for 3 months. Now you're $100,000 in a hole. I don't know exactly what it is, but that's what it sounds like to me. Keep listening.
Still need that, or can I go back to...
No.
Or can I go back to whatever... Can I go back to whatever your contract states? If not, then...
That's bullshit, yo. Stop it. Stop. You too fly for that. You too fly to the floor. At the end of the day...
You're too fly to be giving you extra money that you didn't really deserve. Yes, you're doing extra things, but your contract is a contract. If you think you need more money, either wait till the contract plays out or play hardball and say, I'm not coming on this podcast until I get an increase. See, the thing is Joe is the star of his podcast. It's called the Joe Budden Podcast. So he needs Flip, but he doesn't need Flip. At the end of the day, he'll be able to find somebody else. So either Queen's Flip, play hardball, and do what you got to do, or you got to eat that and say, damn, he gave me extra money for the last 5 months. Now it's stopped. I got to take that and really say thank you because he could have loaned that money to you from the business and had you pay it back eventually.
You have the floor.
At the end of the day, we can play semantics if we want to. At the end of the day, even if that was the case, the job is to keep your niggas happy that's bringing the numbers and doing good up here.
Keep niggas happy. Like, yo, we gotta stop. Like, we gotta just do business, dog. Do business. You signed it. Ain't about no keeping nobody happy. You're gonna have to play hardball. At the end of the day, what Joe's doing is dangerous because he's playing a thin line between homies and not homies, vice versa. Same thing with Warrior Mall. He had them dudes thinking that they was a part of the company where, bro, you're not a part of the company. I do this. I'm the one that's taking the risk. I'm the one that's doing the meetings. Why are you thinking that you're a part of ownership of this when this is not? This is mine. You're the employee. And that's what's going on with Queen's Flip. At the end of the day, you just can't lend somebody money. Just give people extra money. Like, that sounds crazy to me.
That's your job. Once a nigga said we want to abide by a contract, that job ceased. Nigga, it's over.
See, Queen's Flip, like, I just don't understand. Like, a contract is a contract. It's not personal. It's just business. He could still invite you over for Thanksgiving. You could still hang out with him. But when it comes to business and money, he got his kids, he got his legacy that he's trying to build, and you have yours that you're trying to build and, raise money for.
Another point, because you technically want to be about it. Me doing improper went against the contract anyway. Me doing improper was not a part of the contract. Me coming here extra.
It wasn't a part of the contract. So when you have your next contract, you negotiate that, or you play hardball and say, I'm not doing any more shows until I get an increase. Point blank. Don't try to pity somebody to give you extra money. That doesn't ever work.
It's not a part of the contract.
I have not said one word about it.
I'm just saying.
Don't merge your conversation.
What I'm trying to tell you is that you as my man, once you found out I was upset, you ain't call me and say, or tell him, yo, let's figure it out. You ain't say that. You let that nigga talk to me on the phone, give me an excuse that don't make sense to me, so now it's like, all right, fuck you.
An excuse that don't make sense to you. You asked for money for 3 months. He gave it to you for over 5, maybe even 6 months. Just be happy with the extra money, bro. You should be grateful because it's an L on Joe Budden for him even doing that. I would have loaned you the money and made you pay me back if you need the money that bad.
I want to talk to you. I'm going to come do it. I check. Yo, big dog. Oh, February. So that nigga knew I was his. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Because I wasn't feeling this way. Before that conversation, I wasn't feeling this way. I had a whole vision, but now I see. I salute. It's not emotional. I still
letting the audience know out there, Flip is mad at me that I did exactly what he asked me to do.
No, you yo, what the fuck are you talking about?
I did exactly what you asked me to do, and now I'm a bad guy.
You're not a bad guy. I just want to let you know. You're not a bad guy, no.
My new motto is, I'm telling you, I feel safe in it. Whatever y'all want to do, we do.
It's not even about that, though. You know what I'm saying. You say you know what I'm saying.
I didn't call you all upset.
Salute.
Simmer off. You simmer down a little bit. I'm having sushi over here, nigga. He in a bad mood. Let me go talk to this nigga. Me and he was together. I was walking off. I kept walking off the table, right? To get the scoop on this thing. All right.
That's why you was walking off?
Yeah, I had to go. I said, wait, I couldn't believe it. So I don't believe nothing you say. That's what I know.
Yeah, so lesson learned. At the end of the day, you got to be able to separate business from personal. I know it's hard, but you're going to have to do that because bringing it, you're my mans and stuff like that. Nah, bro. We all have families. We all have kids. You're going to have to go ahead and just take that. But, hey, thanks for watching. If you want auditing, an auditor's perspective from a real world, from podcasts that I watch, from sports that I watch, from just daily tips that any employee can use, please subscribe to this channel and help me share it. Thanks for watching. You watch Auditing with Ade.